Good morning, Hustle Nation. Yes, it is that time. We're talking how to build a family business with your kids and get Uncle Sam to pay for it. Building a brand around what it is that you do and who you are as a family is a foundational component, believe it or not, to building multi-generational wealth. I got a special guest in the building who's going to break that all the way down from both the branding perspective and the wealth strategy perspective. Ms. Martina Britt Yelverton is in the building today. So we're going to get all the way in your business so you can start a family business and start building some generational wealth. Do me a favor, go ahead and comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand. Just do not share any links. And I would love to give you a free business shout out. Tell us a little bit about what you got going on for 2021. And make sure you smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen, because it's about to go down. Let's kick it. Yo, what's up, Ultimate Hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network. And when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, ultimate hustlers, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, also known as the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur from the Digital Product Bootcamp. Ladies and gentlemen, each and every single one of you listening to the sound of my voice, you are sitting on a gold mine. Let me say that again. You are sitting on a gold mine. The knowledge, the skills, the talents, the gifts, the passions, the expertise, even some of the experiences you have gone through are profitable if you would just learn how to package and present them to the marketplace. And that's what the Digital Product Bootcamp is all about. Let me show you how to take your gifts, talents, special abilities, turn them into digital products that you could build a brand around and take your family finances to the next level. All you got to do is comment keyword bootcamp if you're interested, and you're going to get 2 courses plus a live training for $47, ladies and gentlemen. You can't beat that with a bat, as they say. So comment keyword bootcamp, and I'll get you the link to register for that. We've got a wonderful show for you today. You want to know how to build a family brand and get Uncle Sam to pay for it? Yeah, we've got a special guest, Martina Britt Yelverton, in the building. She's going to explain how to do all of that. A couple quick announcements for you guys. Listen, if you want to support the show, you can become a subscriber for $5 per month on Facebook. That puts you into our private group called what else? Hustle Nation. And you get special bonus content from me, live Q&A sessions. And one of the things that I'm doing tomorrow is a webinar on how you can get double-digit returns on your money. You're trying to prepare for retirement. You don't know where to put money to get great returns. I'm going to be sharing with my Hustle Nation, as well as all of my other paid subscribers on a private webinar as we continue to roll through Money Smarts Month on how you can do that. Just click on the link in the description, in the bio, on supporting the show and becoming a subscriber of the Financial Health Mentor page, and you're going to get the webinar and the link to that special invitation. Ladies and gentlemen, it is going down. I want you guys to build generational wealth, and whatever I know to get you on that path, I want to be able to help you do just that. Plus, that $5 a month allows me to continue to do this work and do it to the best of my abilities. So become a subscriber, right? $5 a month, that's popcorn and peanut money, but it helps me continue to push the show forward. Now, we're talking about building a family business. And I have the pleasure of introducing a good friend of mine. I've been rocking with this young lady for about 4 years, maybe 5 years. And all she does is build incredible and amazing brands with her creative genius and her talents. And she's learned how to incorporate her family in a way that I had never seen before. And there's a wealth strategy tied to that that allows Uncle Sam to pay for the heavy lifting of building a powerful, profitable, attractive personal brand that includes and incorporates the family. So without further ado, I want to introduce to some and present to others my good buddy, Miss Martina Britt Yoverton. Top of the morning to you, sis. How we feeling today?
Absolutely wonderful and amazing. How are you feeling, Mr. Cortez Hustle?
I am feeling good as well. So, Martina, before we get into who you are and what you do and all of that kind of stuff, I like to kick the show off with a quote of the day. And if you're listening and you got a favorite quote, go ahead and put that in the comments. If you have a favorite quote that you want to share, Martina, you can share that, or you can comment on my quote as well. But today's quote of the day: the key to financial freedom is to find one or two ways to get paid for one or two things you already love to do, then build a brand and a system around it. And that's an H. Cortez original. The key to financial freedom is to find one or two ways to get paid for one or two things that you already love to do, and then build a brand and a system around it. Ladies and gentlemen, as they say, when you're doing something you love, you will never work a day in your life. And I believe that your passions are designed to lead you to your purpose. And where your purpose is, there too you'll find your provision. Martina, do you got a favorite quote, or you want to chime in on that one?
Well, I absolutely love yours. And I like the fact that it's your quote. That's the way you bring it in and you brand you. Yes. And that is very true. That is very true. Like they say, you know, your passion will make room for you. And so that sounds like exactly you're on the right track. And I believe that too, because again, when you're doing what you love to do, it doesn't feel like work. You're doing it because you love to do it. And so I agree with that. I say make a decision to keep making a decision. That's my quote. Yes, make a decision to keep making a decision.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, that is the quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by EFI Financial. And for Money Smarts Month, every single day of the Cortez Hustle Show and the St. Louis Hustle Podcast, we're bringing to you a live money affirmation from my good friend Milt Jr. So let's get into today's money affirmation. And remember, say it with us, folks.
Today's financial affirmation: I spend money responsibly. I spend money responsibly. I appreciate the value of money, and I respect the negative repercussions that come with spending my money irresponsibly. I respect money and appreciate money, so I teach my kids the value of money. I spend money responsibly. I'm Milt Jr. EFI Financial Education Services. EFI, Exercise Financial Intelligence.
Boom. That
Boom.
is the financial affirmation for today. Like I said, all the Money Smarts month, my man Milt Jr. is going to be sharing an affirmation. And you really got to talk to yourself about money and about the things that you want to do. You have to constantly affirm those things. So, Martina, tell the people, who the heck is Martina Britt Yelverton?
Thank you so much, Cortez. But before I even get into who I am, let's talk about who you are and how open your heart is on this morning. And I thank you for that. I thank you for the invitation and allowing me to speak to, people all over the nation. This is absolutely amazing. And I'm so proud to be working with you, sir.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
So Martina Britt Yelverton literally is the brand master, as you had up there, but brand master, cash flow queen, and founder of the Youth Lifestyle Training, Hire Your Kids Legal Tax Hack. And so basically, I'm just a mom. I'm a business owner. I'm a mom, and I love teaching and telling and helping and sharing with people about branding, because there's a lot about it that people don't understand, and they don't realize how simple the answer to it is. And so that's really who I am. I'm a mom first, I'm a child of God first, and then I'm a mom, and then I'm a brand master, and I just love helping people.
Love it, love it, love it. And you've done some great work. I remember one of our first encounters, and I've always known to brand myself. Both of us have backgrounds in the network marketing industry, and it's important for you to really separate yourself from everybody else in the company, in the field, in the industry that you are in. And I remember in my attempt to do that for myself, I had created this logo, and it wasn't even a creation. I actually, I think I used something in Microsoft Word, and I just kind of created a silhouette of myself, and I was just using my logo. And I want you guys to write this down. Always remember that done beats perfect when perfect isn't done. So I knew it wasn't the best, but at the time I didn't have the finances to hire the brand master, right, to get myself together. But because of our relationship and some of the things that I had, was doing and helping our community, you said, bro, we cannot have the financial health mentor out here looking like that. And you took that brand and that logo and you flipped it. Let's talk about what your definition of a brand is.
Well, there are a lot of different definitions out here. And to speak to that, yes, I actually saw your brand and saw what you were doing. And I was so enthralled by it that I was following you and YouTube stalking you for quite a while before I even realized that we were in the same company, or we would have been in that company together. I was watching you. And so what people miss about the brand is that's the first face that people see. When they see you, they see whatever your representation is that's out there before they ever meet you. And it is crucially important for people to understand the importance of that first impression. Okay. And so a brand essentially is your product, your service, your business cards, your postcards, your banners, whatever it is that you have out there circulating both online and offline is essentially a part of your brand. But the bottom line of a brand, your brand is you, your word, your promise. That's the easiest way I can define it.
Yeah, I love it, because that's the deal. And people don't understand how the promise shows up in print and digitally and things of that nature. Because when I talk about branding, that's exactly the definition I use. Your brand is your promise or your message. And how that message shows up is important. And originally my message was showing up a little bit raggedy. And you fixed that for me. So I appreciate you fixing that message for me. But then you said that at the bottom of it all, you are the brand. Let's expound on that a little bit, because I don't think people get it, especially people in our industry, in the home-based business industry. They don't get that the brand is them. So what do you mean by you are the brand?
Well, let me say this part of it as well. It's also, yes, it shows up in your online. Yes, it shows up in your offline, but it also shows up in your absence.
Wait a minute. Run that back. You got to
It
run that back.
It also shows up in your absence, because if you are not present, you are absent. And so since you are not there, you are absent. That is still a part of your brand. The caveat to that is also, if you are not available to be at an event, if you are not, available to be, online like this, speaking to the world, your absence is showing up for you. So if your absence is showing up, people don't know you, they can't get in contact with you, or if your absence is showing up incorrectly, your brand colors are showing up incorrectly, your hashtag or your name, the misspelling of your name, one T versus two T's or something like that. That is all essentially a part of what shows up when you're not even there. Wow. So you want to make sure you're in control of that and that you're available to put that out there professionally, yes, but consistently, yes, and authentic to you and who you really are. I used to hate saying y'all, and then people finally said, "You country girl, just say it." That's you.
Yeah, and people really want to get away from that. And if that is your level of comfort, then you by all means should do that. Now, if you internally want to make a change and want to get away from that, yes, but don't do that for somebody else. Or we both share a mutual friend and Marquell Russell, and I remember he was on the show and he was sharing with me, Cortez, when I, got into the industry, I thought I had to be shirt and tie. And I was so awkward and uncomfortable, got the gold teeth. I'm thinking, ain't nobody gonna rock with me. And what he found is when he finally said, man, listen, I am more comfortable in a t-shirt, a polo, and, some khakis and some jeans, and I wear ball caps and that kind of stuff. That's just who I am. And I'm going to show up and deliver results. That is the difference maker. It's the results that you deliver. It doesn't matter how those results are packaged, right? So I love that you're talking about being your authentic self. Let me ask you this, man. I'm looking at your wonderful work here. This thing is a beauty. And I'm just looking at some of the designs and some of your branding partners and things. Where does your creative genius come from? Is that something that you've always had in you from the time you were a child? Or did you just kind of learn these skills and develop when you started getting softwares and that kind of stuff? Or have you always been that artistic one?
That's interesting that you would ask that. First and foremost, we're going to give it up to the big GOD, because that is where it all comes from, right? But I noticed growing up as a child, and this is me reflecting back, because growing up as a child, you don't really notice it. I was an only child. It was me and my mom, and I was always rearranging my room. I was always, typing up things for her or drawing things for her, or, just always giving gifts, even though, we didn't lack for anything, but I was always creative in doing things. And I didn't really know where it came from. And well into my 20s, when I was actually attending my father's homegoing service, and where I met my sister for the very first time, having known about her forever and a day, but never having met her. Wow. I'm sitting there beside her, and I'm listening to the eulogy going forward, and the the pastor says, Brother Britt, on a specific day, I was given a service and I didn't have a title, and my title was first class, blah, 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 whatever the name of the sermon was. He said, Brother Britt created these first class tickets and brought them to me. And when he held those tickets up, I bust out crying. Because I knew then where the creativity had come from, because my mother wasn't that way. And so growing up as a child, you don't notice that, right? But I'm a grown woman sitting at his homegoing ceremony. His homegoing ceremony, because it was a celebration. And that pastor held up those tickets, and he gave them to me afterwards, and I still have them, because then I knew where that came from.
Wow. I love that. That is amazing. And For those of you who are listening, I want you to really understand what's going on here. That was some years ago. Wasn't that long ago, because she's still in her 20s, right? But but you know, it is the sooner you can identify that passion and start working in it and working on it, the sooner you can actually find your purpose, which we're going to get into that on the other side of 1 minute motivation, because that is so hugely important. Because again, I believe that your passion will lead you to your purpose, and your purpose, you will find all the provisions in your life. God didn't say, hey, I built you for a specific reason. And oh, while you're doing that thing I built you for, you got to figure out how to feed and clothe and entertain you. No, he said, when you start doing what I built you for, all of those things are going to be added to you. So get into what I built you for. But the problem is we don't find a way to get paid from our passions. Therefore, we walk away from them, and we're doing things to make money that a lot of times stress us out. A lot of times don't make sense for us. A lot of times are moving us away from our passion. Yeah, we're going to get all the way up in that and get Martina's thoughts on that. But it is time for 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. And 1 minute motivation is a segment of the show where we play a 1 minute motivational clip. And I want you guys to comment your takeaways. And always remember, if you comment takeaway and then give me your comment, your name goes into a drawing to win a free vacation. So comment takeaway and then give me your comment so that we can get you into that free drawing or that drawing for that free vacation. But here is 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show.
What has brought you to this point? What did you learn from it? Are you learning anything, or are you doing it over and over and over again? Are you going through it, or are you growing through it? Are you bigger and better because of it? Things are going to happen to you, and the most important thing to do is to harness your will and let it go. I'm in control here. I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm not going to let this destroy me. I'm coming back. And I'll be stronger and better because of it. You have got to make a declaration that this is what you stand for. You're standing up for your dreams. You're standing up for peace of mind. You're standing up for health. You want it, and you're going to go all out to have it.
Powerful.
Man, that gets me fired up, Martina.
Yes.
So, ladies first, give me one takeaway, man.
Well, just being now on my speaker's platform, I'll talk about the power in his voice and the way that he delivers, and you can hear his passion and that he loves, what he's talking about and what he's saying and how he's getting, that message across to you. You have no choice but to receive what he's saying, whether you believe it or not. Just the power and the authenticity in his voice. Whenever Les Brown speaks, you have to get up and do something.
Yeah, I love it, man. And I talk a lot about the 5 P's of prosperity, right? Persistence, perseverance, patience, permission, and to stop procrastinating. And a lot of times we confuse persistence with perseverance. Well, persistence says, I'm going to keep pushing at this thing. I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep going. And when things get in my way, I'm going to find a way around it. I'm going to over it or through it or whatever. Perseverance, on the other hand, says, not only did I meet the obstacle, but the obstacle actually knocked me on my butt. And the question is, what do you do then? Are you courageous enough? Do you have enough belief in yourself? Is if this obstacle knocks you on your butt 30 times, will you get up 31?
Absolutely.
That's what I heard. And I love doing these, Martina, because we all will listen to the same clip, but we all hear something different. So
right.
That is 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, the Martina Britt Yelverton version, brought to you by brand master. So let's continue this conversation. So when you understood the creativity, and that was a wonderful story about your father and the pastor and that connection. When did you really start like, okay, I can not only do this for myself and those closely around me, I can actually build a full-fledged business around helping people to bring their brand full circle?
I would say back in 2001, or a little bit around that time, 2001, a friend of my mother's was retiring from her job. And she asked me, because obviously I had been doing stuff for my mom quite a bit. She said, can you make a certificate for Miss, Rose, we'll say, because I don't remember her name. And instead of just making a certificate, I made invitations, I made place cards, I made thank you cards, I made the certificate, I made a menu. And I said, let's do an entire retirement celebration for her. And so when people showed up to this during the day business office, conference room celebration, it was completely decked out and it was completely branded. And at that point, people were like, do you have a business card?
Yeah, man. And that leads me to something else that I gotta say before we go down any further. But a lot of times people don't understand when it comes to entrepreneurship, you serve first. It's like
Absolutely.
You actually do the work first, and then let that work speak, and then that work can open other doors for you. People didn't get it when Robert Kiyosaki and Rich Dad Poor Dad was saying rich people don't work for money. They understand that there's something greater than money. Sometimes the capital in networking in those relationships, because you got a lot of other money out of that room because you are willing to do the service and go above and beyond what was asked for you, and you over deliver, right? So I love it. So you've been doing this branding thing for a long time. Talk about one of the most creative brands that you've ever created, whether it was your idea or a client of yours came and said, hey, this is my brand and I want you to make it look good.
Well, I know we're going to talk about the second most creative brand that I've done in a minute, but I would say my first most creative brand that really let me know that I was onto something was with a mime ministry out of Durham, North Carolina, and it's called Panay Mime Ministries. Pastor Sandra and Timothy Majette, and I worked with them for 7 years, back in 2005 up through I think about 2010 or 11, just taking their mime ministry all across the world. And it really, the first year, second year, I was like, okay. Third year, fourth year, I was like, okay. And then by the fifth, sixth, and seventh year, I was like, okay, we're on to something. We're really on to something. And at that point, it was time for me to continue to kind of stretch out and work with, a little more. So it was working on ministries, and then it moved to authors, and then daycare centers, and then gyms. And then I really started tapping into the home-based business and the MLM network. By that time, right around in 2012, with my probably at that time about fourth company, because we all hop until we find home, right? And that's what it took. And I started working with associates and directors and people inside of these companies and having them understand that we all have the same product. What's going to make you different? And that's when I really realized this is an area that people don't realize how important branding is.
Yeah. And you are so right. And it is, the personal branding is cool because it's one thing to brand a company, and it's another thing to brand the individual. And I find that a lot of times people don't understand that they could brand themselves in a way that is attractive. So how do you separate when somebody says, hey, I don't have a company, I don't have a business per se, but like an online influencer, for instance, what are some of the things that you could do for somebody who has an online presence? I know what you did for me and my logo, but I know you do other things as well for those folks who are becoming influencers and allowing their personalities to kind of really be the brand?
I believe when I first started, I didn't quite understand, like most people, what you have your hands on. And then once you actually begin to realize, when I open my mouth and I say my name, that is more of my brand than anything I can share, sell, give, or whatever, because you show up first. You're not introduced or given a platform because of the company. You're given the platform because of who you are, and you're introduced by your name. So even if you have a company, or if you don't have a company, even if you have a product or a service, or you do not, I still say always start with your name. Why? Because even if you never develop out a company or build a business out of it, we don't know what the internet is going to do with our name on the internet. We don't really know. We never knew we'd be where we are right now with technology.
Right.
So we really don't know. You start with your name and you make yourself the business. Dr. Lynn Richardson says, live your life like a business, run your life like a business. You know, so even if you don't have a brand established yet, you have a name. You were born and you were given a name. That's where you start.
I love it. I love it. And that's as easy, because I've seen and worked with some very talented people, some very gifted people with their ability to speak, with their magnetic personalities. And they're like, I can't move forward because I don't have a name. I'm like, you have a name. You have a name. It's like, right. Well, why don't you just be hcortez.com? Just start there. So you're absolutely right on that. And how long did it take for you to start realizing that, okay, I've got this brand thing on and popping. My clientele is growing, and you know, my mission is clear, and now I need help, right? And you started introducing your children to help you in the development and the creativity and creating, crafting this brand. What was it like when, what was the aha moment that says, I can get my kids to help me? And then what was it like bringing them into the fold?
I believe in 2016, I was introduced to the idea that you could hire your kids to work with you in business when I actually went from being a sole proprietor. Like, I started my hobby, as I call it, back in 2008, when I was literally forced to start a home-based business. I survived a domestic violence situation. And because of that, me and my 4 kids ended up back home at my mom's house. And I was like, okay, now look, what is we gonna do? You know, because I had a 6-month-old, and I'm thinking daycare, and I'm thinking before school and after school care for my teens. And I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen when they come home from school, and that little bit of cushion of 1 hour and I'm not home for teenage boys. I was concerned. And so I was forced to start a home-based business. So I relied on my gifts and talents and what I had been doing with designing. So, you know, imagine being a single mom with these 4 kids, and you're working a business. So you really work when they're asleep. Okay. And then when they get up, you make sure they get off to school. So you go through that routine, and then you do that for as long as it's necessary to keep food on the table. And then you're getting the clients, and it's becoming overwhelming. And you don't even realize that when you go to vend and you set up booths and you're helping people, because you're a single mom, you bring your kids with you and they help you. You don't realize that you could be paying them wages, and their wages could pay for their extracurricular activities. I did it for years and had no clue. Wow. So getting knowledge, you know, back in 2016, that you can hire your kids, I started doing that, and it made a significant difference in my returns, in the amount of money I was able to spend, because I was able to write it off, because this was now our lifestyle, you know. And then realizing that a lot of people had no clue, not only inside of our MLM industry, a lot of people had no clue that when their children are helping them in business and they're still paying them an allowance, they're losing money, because you can't write an allowance off.
That's right. That's right. Man, that is powerful, powerful stuff. But I got to go here, because you mentioned the situation that forced you into entrepreneurship. Do me a favor, if you will. Talk to the mom, the person who might be facing some of those challenges and are afraid to make that move out. Because you leaned on your gifts and talents. And we know everybody has a gift and a talent, but maybe they haven't identified it with. I want you to give those women in particular, but we know men are in domestic violence situations too, a word that says you can lead it, Joker, and, you know, start over if you have to. What was your mindset like when you made that shift?
Well, my mindset was definitely fearful. Okay. But my mindset was more fearful for them, for them growing up without a father, because my mom came from the era of the cast iron skillet.
Yeah.
And so it was like,
and I understand she's very good at boiling grits too. I'm just saying.
Yes. And so my fear was more so, if I don't leave this situation, my kids are not going to have a father because my mom don't play that, you know? And so it was more of knowing I have 4 beautiful kids. They deserve to have a relationship with their father. I know that the devil got busy that night, that was not his general personality, but I also knew I had 3 boys and a little girl, and no way would I allow them to think or believe that this is the way it's supposed to be. So that's what gave me the courage to just walk away, because I didn't want them to think this situation is okay. And so having a mom and being able to go to her home was, you know, my soft place. Lots of women, lots of men, even, you guys may not have that soft place. You must go within. You must really go within and realize he did not make you, meaning he, our creator, did not make us to bear that situation. We are greater than that. We are better than that. And we must leave so we can get to our perfect place, our passion place, our purpose place, where we're supposed to be and do what we're supposed to do. That is not for us. That is not in any way or shape meant for us. And you must talk to someone that can help you understand your own value. You're worth more than that.
Love it. And I thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, I know we got a little bit off course, but sometimes you just got to let the spirit lead you. So I appreciate that, Martina. So you're saying that with all of these things that you were doing as a single mom, you're bringing your kids with you anyway. And they ain't got no choice. Boy, put that table up. Boy, take that table down. Pass out this flyer or this card to everybody who walks past this booth. So they're already working in the business, but you're not necessarily reaping the benefits of that. So we're going to talk a little bit about how you can set that up here in a second. But I've got to take a commercial break and let the folks know that we got the Digital Product Bootcamp coming up this coming Tuesday, April 6th at 7 p.m. And you can participate and learn how to turn your gifts, talents, and special abilities into income. So check out our promotion for the Digital Product Bootcamp. Hey, my friend, listen, you've got a gift, talent, and special ability. Why are you sitting on it and not turning it into a digital product so that you can market and sell it online? Hey, I'm H. Cortez, author of Monetize My Life, 4 incredibly simple ways to turn your passions into profits. And that's exactly what I do. I'm hosting a boot camp called the Digital Product Bootcamp that will teach you how to turn your gifts, talents, your intellectual capital into a digital product you can market and sell online. But guess what? Don't just take it from me. Let you hear from one of my students how excited she is about what this process has done for her.
Hey, Coach Cortez, it's me, Ariel. I just wanted to thank you for helping me to create my product this weekend and launch the product with the systems in place. Man, I'm just truly amazed. Like, I got 7 sales in 4 days. And I've been thinking to myself, why didn't I do this thing and launch this thing a long time ago? But nevertheless, it's launched, it's lit, it's hot. So I'm appreciative, I'm thankful, and I'm looking forward to creating more products and more success with you. Thank you so much.
Wow, 7 sales in 4 days. And then she sent me this text message where she got 2 more sales overnight. How would you like to turn your gifts, talents, special abilities, intellect into digital products that will allow you to wake up to new money every day? All you gotta do is click the link around this video to register for the Digital Products Bootcamp, and I hope to see you on the inside. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle. That is the lovely Martina Britt Yelverton, and we're talking about building a family business, building a brand around it, taking your gifts, talents, and special abilities and turning those into income. And that's what the Digital Product Bootcamp is all about. For $47, you will get 2 courses, one on how to launch your coaching business, second on personal branding blueprint. And you get to join me live next Tuesday, where I'm going to show you 9 different ways to turn your gifts, talents, special abilities into digital products that you can market and sell. So you got the babies, Martina, helping you out. And well, you got the information and the epiphany. Everybody put in the comments information, right? Sometimes we're just the information away from transformation, right? We didn't get the information. So you got the information. And how did you go from information to implementation?
Well, obviously, when you hear that your kids are working with you in business, but you're not capitalizing on that, and that it is a legal strategy provided to you, in publication 15, if you all want to know where I'm getting this information from, that it is a legal strategy that you can implement, you kind of go, okay, how? And you start doing your research and you start following, and digging and Googling and learning what you can. Well, I have a blueprint, so you don't have to go Google and dig and, go through all of that to get it. Thank you, sir. You don't have to go through all that to get it. But once you find out that what you're already doing is legal, then you just figure out what is the structure of it. And so once you figure out what the structure of it to make sure that you're compliant, then you're good to go. You don't really have to change anything. And I think that's one of the things that is a myth that is out there. You think that you have to jump through a bunch of bells and whistles and hoops to be able to implement this strategy, and you do not. In my workbook, the last section, the last 7 steps that I show you exactly what I do. But the youth lifestyle training, Hire Your Kids Legal Tax Hat Method or wealth strategy literally is customizable to what you're doing in your household. So if you don't have a home-based business, you will not be able to do this, because there's a difference between having a home-based business and hiring your children inside of your home, inside of that home-based business, and having a restaurant and employing your children. 2 totally different strategies, 2 totally different things. And so if you're already bringing your kids with you to help them set up, you got one kid holding the baby and the other 2 are setting up, or you're bringing them with you and you're paying a babysitter to watch the younger 2 while the older boys are with you, which is what I had to do when my mom was not for it that day. When that happens, you are literally able to not only pay the babysitter, but you're able to pay the wages. Like you just don't realize what you're already doing. You can actually exchange it for what you're currently doing to a business activity, and now you're available to write it off. So again, it's not just about the knowledge, it's about applying the knowledge.
Right. I love that. And I am so with you. And I tell everybody as loudly and as often as I can, you were born a sole proprietor in this country. Your social security number is actually an EIN.
Preach.
But when you don't do business with it, it's a social security number. When you do business with it, it's an EIN. You already are a business. But the penalty you pay for not doing business in this country is high taxes. And what you're explaining is that you can pay your child $12,400 per year per child, and you have 4 of them. That's over $48,000 in a tax deduction that you could use to lower your taxes, right?
Right. But look, don't get them confused now. If your income is only $50,000 and you have 4 kids, no, you cannot pay $12, $24, $36, $48,000 to your kids. Okay. So there is some restraints within that. Okay. However, if you are $100,000, a year earner and you have 4 kids, okay, you have 40, however many $1,000
resources to actually do it, because basically talking through the strategy that says, okay, how then do I pay my child? Because we know that 3 things are required to take advantage of any tax deductions from the IRS, but especially this one. You got to work your business regularly and consistently. You've got to work your business in an attempt to make a profit. Keyword attempt. Underline it 2 times and italicize it. It's the attempt to make a profit. And then you have to keep excellent records. So how is it that, okay, Martina, I heard you. I went and looked up publication 15. I got the Hire Your Children Legal Tax hack. So I see what to do. Now I'm ready to start doing that. But how do you make the payments to the children, and talk us through some of the setup real quick?
Okay, so let me give you clarity on a part of that as well. When we're saying you're already doing this, your kids already have birthdays. Your kids already participate in extracurricular activities. There are things that you're already going to buy. Case in point, my daughter's 13th birthday. Her entire birthday celebration was a write-off. How was her entire birthday celebration a write-off? And this is where you speak to them working in business with me. She got a business for her birthday. She got an entire branded business set up. We went live, so we advertised it. We went live. Everything that we ordered for it was ordered with regards to her business, the branding, the marketing of it. So my kids are graphically talented. They can draw. She drew out her logo. I had her logo mocked up. We put it on marketing material. She has a website. She has t-shirts, hoodies, cups, tumblers, and all of these things, right? We got online, we marketed it. And when she came in, everything was set up and all her aunts were in her t-shirts on the live waiting for her. Okay. All of that was a write-off. And the way that it was a write-off is, number 1, we used it for advertising and marketing. And number 2, all of the products and everything were branded to her. And she literally has her own business website to market it. So again, in order for you to do this, it has to be structured like a business. You can even, and like I say, even if you don't have a business, you are a parent in your home teaching and educating your kids in some form or another. And what is the one thing that really has been removed from the system that we grew up with that kids don't have today is home ec. So in school, we learn how to cook. You don't learn hardly ever how to cook anymore in school, but you do inside of your home. So imagine yourself taking that simple activity, putting it on a curriculum, putting it on a schedule, marketing and advertising it, requiring your kids to do things in an organized fashion, and you put that inside of an agreement with that child. Now, they have responsibilities according to that agreement that they're supposed to do. We set ours up inside a Google Calendar so that they report each day everything they do inside of that agreement on the calendar. So it's trackable. We can track what they're doing. I market it so that there's an advertising piece of it, and everything that you market online is timestamped. So there's your record keeping for it. You're able to track it that way, right? So now when it's time for payments, they have their own accounts in their name. I have access to them because when we transfer money, we're transferring consistently, a consistent amount based on them filling out everything according to their agreement for the week. So not only do we have agreements, we have checking accounts, we have checklists, they have responsibilities, they're clear in their understanding. This is their timesheet. Okay, so agreements, you have a timesheet, you have an account. These are the things that you must have in place, because if you think about what McDonald's does or Chick-fil-A, does do when they hire kids, they bring them in for an interview, they sit them down with paperwork, they must understand the paperwork. My kids had to read through their agreement, agree to everything, sign their contracts, submit those contracts. They have evaluations. I've had to fire one of them. I've had we're serious about it. They've gone with pay, they've gone without pay, because that is what happens in the real world. And so all you have to do is model that behind in your home into a business.
I love it. I love it.
Literally.
And people really miss that whole thing. You can send your kids out to McDonald's and they can work at McDonald's, and McDonald's is going to get all that tax write-off and all that tax benefit of you and your children. But you said something significant is you structure and organize the same way that you go through this stuff on your job. Every day, every week, every quarter, you get evaluated and have meetings and all this kind of stuff. You do the exact same thing. And I know some people are struggling with this, Martina. Well, what kind of task can I have them do in my business? So give us 3 or 4 things that the child can be doing in a youth training scenario for pretty much any type of business, right?
Well, I'll begin it, but I'll also allow my youth lifestyle trainees to chime in. If you'd like to have them say what it is they do, I have them on deck. And anytime y'all want to chime in, you can step in. But basically, what you already have them doing with regards to if you don't have a company, if you're not working within a company, okay? Because in a company, there are things that you do inside of your office at home. You know, there's faxing that you may still do. There's email that you may check. There's posting that you may thumb, love, heart, respond to, comment. There's social media that you engage on. There are these crazy things out here, TikTok, Snapchat, and all of that your kids are very, very well versed on that you are not. So allow them to engage with you and interact with you on some of, you know, those platforms, so that then you can get out there and market it. There are things that your kids know that you are not giving them credit for. Even this week alone, I've been texting with my kids' teachers. Okay, not realizing there's an app called Talking Points that the teachers were actually talking with me in. I was just answering in a text. But I opened up this app because my daughter was like, Mom, you're not in the app. And so she was able to pull it up, show me, do whatever. I got in the app. I'm now communicating inside of the app. So there are things that your kids know that you're already doing with your kids that you need to convert from personal activity to business activity so that you can writing off the time. And you find that time by, the equivalent of what a social media person would do. The equivalent of what it costs you to take your car to the car wash. That's your business vehicle. The equivalent of what you would pay a housekeeper to come in and clean your office space. These are how you come up with some of the equivalents of what you would pay. Okay.
Nice.
Right.
Nice. Love it. Love it. Before we bring the kiddos in, because I definitely want to hear from them and how this whole process has gone. We do a segment, Martina, on the show called Freestyle, because I know you got bars, sis. So no, we're not going to put it to music, and I'm not going to make you rhyme in the rhythmic fashion, right? But freestyle is all about you just saying some things that we have not already touched on as I'm building this media empire that will one day surpass Ted Turner and Walt Disney. Starting with this podcast, I don't always ask the right questions. So sometimes the conversations don't evolve where we want them to. So just talk to the people for 2 minutes about what you are feeling in your heart that they should know about your branding and your marketing, your business acumen, entrepreneurship, and the likes. Go.
Well, just the number one thing I need people to understand is it's not about what I do for you. It really is about what you determine your value is. And my first process is really helping you understand and visualize your own value first. You know, what do you know? Who are you? That's one of the first things I ask. Who are you? The second thing I'll ask is, what do you know? The third thing I ask is, why do you want to share that? The fourth thing I ask is, how will it benefit others and you? Because we all dialed into WIIFM, what's in it for me. So how will what you know and what you do benefit others? And then when and where are you going to share it with anyone who's looking to get it? If you don't know those 5 key factors, then you're really not going to be able to show up online or offline to deliver that because you're not even setting the foundation of who you are and what you do. So yes, I'm a business owner, but I'm a child of God first. So I'm very authentic in what I deliver. I'm very spirit led. And then I'm a brand master. So I'm passionate about branding and all of that. And then I'm a cash flow queen. I'm trying to figure out how to leave a legacy. Everything I come in, I'm trying to figure out how to leave a legacy. I have a grandbaby coming in June. Like, man, it's crazy. I have a grandbaby coming in 2 months, a granddaughter. So I'm excited about that because it pushes me to do even more. And then finally, being the founder of This Youth Lifestyle Training, I'm really trying to see what it is that I was taught, how I can get people to see what they've been taught, what they're passing on to their kids, and how to utilize that to have a plan B. You know, those kids are not just about out here to eat up all the food and run up all the electricity. They're your plan B. So let's use them.
Love it, love it, love it. That is freestyle right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. The Martina Britt Yelverton version, the brand master and the youth lifestyle training founder. Where them babies at, man? Because I want to get their story. There's always 3 sides of every story, ladies and gentlemen. There is her side, there is the kid side, and then there is the truth. So let's see if we can get to the truth. How many do you want to bring in and how you want to do it?
Well,
we got 4 minutes. So
we got 4 minutes. I'll see if I can get one of them on. One of them is an introvert and one of them is an extrovert. All right. Looks like I might be able to get the extrovert in. Come on in, Genesis. Okay, so see right here where you are on the camera. There you go. So this is Genesis Elizabeth Yelverton. Her brand is Jen's Journey. You want to step closer, lean a little bit closer?
Yeah, get right over your mom's shoulder right there so we can see your Jen. So what was your experience when mom first started saying that this ain't for play no more, y'all going to work, and she hit you with that first contract?
It was, I don't know. It was kind of a surprise, but also like I kind of knew it was coming, I guess.
Okay. So, and with your building your own business and your own brand, how was that experience for you?
It's fun because I get to do my own thing and not like have to, I guess, like stay in the parameters of stuff. I can just do me.
Love it. And you get paid for doing you. And that's what Monetize My Life is all about. Get paid to do you. Thank you so much, Jen. And make sure I get all of her links so I can put her links into the show notes and all the rest of the brand babies as well. Because people don't realize, Martina, Oprah Winfrey built $1 billion empire being Oprah Winfrey.
Absolutely.
They think Oprah Winfrey does things other than just being herself. She talks about what she wants to talk about, talks about who she wants to talk to, interviews who. So who we got next? 2 minutes.
Really
What's
quickly.
going on?
Really quickly, this is Julian Dean Yelverton. He's currently wearing his brand as well, Julian's Journey. He drew it himself. Julian's Journal, I'm sorry. He drew it himself. And so he has apparel that's coming out from his drawings as well. So are you enjoying the journey?
It's like making my own design. It was kind of hard because we had to do it multiple times. And I was like, and I still couldn't decide on which one to do. So I just like kind of put them together and came up with this design.
Nice.
So, nice. Yeah, it kind of looks like fish hooks, which we weren't going for that, but it's okay.
That's all right. I tell everybody, man, my brand is what I make it mean.
Absolutely.
So it's what I make it mean. So appreciate that. And we didn't get into that today, Martina, but this is also teaching them entrepreneurship, which is something else that is not taught in school. It's teaching them money management, wealth building principles and strategies. So we got to have you back to dive deeper into that. But our hour of power is up. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, until we talk to you next time, we want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.